Mm. Okay, guys. Hello, guys. Welcome back to the show. This is Sunday, the 7th of December, 2025. And now I'm just bringing you this broadcast. Let me see. Just give me a minute. I want to update this topic so that it can reflect. There is a coup happening that happened just earlier today in Benin Republic. And I'm here just to cover the major highlights of that. As we go. So just give me one sec. Okay, yeah, welcome back again. That being said, so there's a coup right now that just went out in Guinea-Bissau. So we can see this is the highlight of what really transpired early this morning. So you had these guys, they just stormed the TV, the national TV, to announce a full military takeover. Let's see the first highlight. That was this 7 hours ago. The land, the sea, and air borders of Benin are closed until further moment. The seizure of power at this moment translates, the firm will of the military committee of all the restriction to the extradition of all social layers of our country without any distinction for the continuation of the transition and to restore national cohesion. The National Army will cease until further notice the full power granted to the state of Benin. All the civil servants of Benin, all workers in our city and countryside, wherever they are, must continue with the daily tasks normally with more faith and discipline. So that was the announcement. That was what happened earlier today in Benin Republic. Now, as you know, the West African axis of Africa has been saddled and confronted with ultimate challenges with respect to military takeover. There's been an heightened level of insecurity, in West African, and that's what has been happening. Report says that all the coup plotters have been arrested and eliminated instantly. I'm not so sure how true that story is, but this is what we are. This is a president, of his name is, I think, Patrice Talon, the president of Benin. Okay. Now, the so-called coup in Guinea-Bissau and the latest episode in the Republic of Benin share disturbing similarities. In Guinea-Bissau, the phony coup unfolded after a criminal former president effectively invited the military to intervene to avoid the announcing elections and relinquishing power to an opposition figure with a popular mandate. It was not a seizure of power to restore order, but a manipulation of force to escape democratic progress. The situation in Benin raises equally troubling questions. There are strong indications that President Patrice Talon, prime PR, a deeply shady figure and a close ally of Nigeria president official Ahmed Tinubu, may have been aware of the coup plots, allowed it to unfold, and then use it as a political diversion to shift public attention away from his growing unpopularity and to help him clamp down on opposition figure as is always done. In this sense, instability becomes a calculated tool of political survival rather than an unforeseen threat to democracy. Wow. Of course, I'm opposed to military rule in all its form. This is Omoyele Sowore speaking. The answer to bad governance, the answer to bad civilian leadership is not guns, military jackboot, and camouflage, but accountability, popular struggle, and genuine democracy. Always speaking truth. You need to team up with the coalition and remove APC for the... Okay, so this is Omoyele Sowore's account of what has happened. The ongoing coup, that was 8 hours ago. Armed forces has foiled the attempted coup. Now we have reports that the armed forces have foiled the attempted coup in Benin Republic. This was just 1 hour ago. A bid to overthrow President Patrice Talon's government collapsed on Sunday after a small group of mutineers in military uniform failed to reach the presidential residence, instead seizing the state television station in Cotonou. Cotonou is just next door to Nigeria, okay? Security forces quickly surrendered the national broadcaster, ending the brief standoff. By midday, the Republican Guard and army unit had regained full control of the facility. So again, the coup, it appears that the coup was not successful, and that's it. Eyewitnesses said fewer than 20 armed men stormed the Benin television compound, briefly interrupting programming before being contained. The group was unable to advance towards the heavily fortified presidential palace in Porto Novo, about 40 kilometers away. Government spokesman Wilfred Londre described the incidents as action of a handful of misguided individuals and confirmed the situation was under control. Wow. Wow. And that's okay. And that's where things stand at the moment. President Talon has been in power since 2016. So 2016 to 2025, that's 9 years. So this guy has been in power for the past 9 years. Okay, President Talon has been in power since 2016 and re-elected in 2021, has yet to make a public statement. Calm has returned to Cotonou by late afternoon, with traffic flowing normally around the television headquarters. So the source of this is A. Ononuga 1956. Let me see if I can actually get to this person's handle and see what's been happening. So that's where we are with respect to, apparently, I don't think this was more of a well-planned coup, you know, that, yeah, okay, so Bayo Ononuga is the aide to President Tinubu. He handles his affairs with respect to communication to the people. Colonel Pastor Tigri, the leader of the Benin Republic mutineer, is on the run. So this guy is the one that made the announcement on the national TV of Benin Republic. The latest report from the Benin Republic said Colonel Pascal Tigri, the leader of the mutineers. So this is more of a mutiny, although they are tagging it as a coup because they try to advance to the presidential villa. Let me put it as villa, who sees the mutineer who sees the country's national TV on Sunday is on the run. However, some other members of the group have been arrested as the defense and security forces in the country touted the attempted coup. Benin Interior Minister Alassane Sido, I'm sorry if I mispronounce the name, has appeared on national TV to announce that the coup has been thwarted. Early on Sunday morning, 7 December 2025, a small group of soldiers launched a mutiny, aimed at destabilizing the state and its institution. Faced with this situation, the Benin's armed forces and their leadership, true to their oath, remain committed to the republic. Their response allowed them to retain control of the situation and foil the attempt. The government therefore urges the population to go about their activities as normal. This is from Bayo Ononuga. Okay. Coup in Benin fails. This was 5 hours ago. Now, 4 hours ago, he's saying that the leader is actually what's it called again? Is actually on the run. That's what is really happening right now in Benin. Let me see if I can get more information. Al Jazeera is also on that story, and we could see that happening. Now, Benin government foils mutinous soldiers coup attempt. This was updated 20 minutes ago. we've seen this. There was actually an attempted coup. Latest coup since 2020 in Africa. Look at what's been happening. There's been a lot of coup. Starting from Mali, that one, that Traoré guy, happened in Mali in August 18, 2020. And then in 2021, there was another coup that took out the one that happened in 2020. Then in Chad, there was also a coup in 2021. In Guinea, there was a coup 5th of September 2021. In Sudan, we had a coup that happened in 25 October 2021. Burkina Faso, that one, we had a coup in the 23rd of January 2022. Another one, in 30th September 2022. Niger, you had 26 July 2023. And then in Gabon, you had one that happened in 30 August 2023. Madagascar, you have one that happened just recently, 12th of October 2025. And then in Guinea-Bissau, you have what? A coup that happened on the 26th. That's the most recent one that happened when we had the president of Nigeria there at the time when that happened, when you saw an election take place, but then for one reason or the other, I think the current presiding president thought that I was going to lose, and as a result of that, encourage the military to take the coup. Because how would you explain the president coming out to announce that a coup already happened? And then he was arrested, and then we saw these guys take over. So the one for Guinea-Bissau was actually, I would say, was successful. Now, the result of the elections, based on what I recollect, has not been announced. Now we have the one that happened today, the 7th of December, 2025. All of this coup just since 2020 in Africa, and most of it happening from West Africa. That's quite unfortunate. Again, let me see. This is Emmanuel Macron. I don't know why he's been wading in. The influence of the French, in a lot of these French-speaking West African country has been such of disgraceful. Why? Because there's been a stronghold on those nations as against, countries that are Anglophone speaking, English speaking countries, where you had the British, the left, literally, but one way or the other, they still have an influence. The French government has massive presence in all of those African countries that speak French, and that's really bad. Welcome to the show. Now, so this is the update that we have right now happening. This is the Interior Minister coming out to talk about the failure of that coup. So it's going to be in French, and I don't have the interpretation. So this is him.
De soldats a engagé une mutinerie dans le but de déstabiliser l'État et ses institutions.
Okay.
Face à cette situation, les forces armées béninoises et leur hiérarchie, fidèles à leur serment, sont restées républicaines.
Okay.
Leur riposte a permis.
Okay, I'm hearing repose, I'm hearing mutineer, I'm hearing all of those stuff. I don't know what it's talking about, but I think most people that if you can speak French, you can know. Okay.
Et de faire échec à la manœuvre. Aussi, le gouvernement invite-t-il les populations à vaquer normalement à leurs occupations.
Okay.
Je vous remercie.
Okay. So in short, from what I can see, the Benin Interior Minister says coup attempt by a small group of people, of soldiers, have been thwarted by the military. The government urges the population to resume their normal activity. Alassane Sido, I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name, says on national TV. Okay. Yeah, so the coup, I think, has been thwarted. Looking at the formation, it didn't really show that it was going to be a successful one. Yeah, there's a coup. There's a coup that happened. What's happening? There's a coup that happened in the earlier hours of today in Benin Republic. And I think the country, has been in a lot of the western part of Africa has been in a lot of unstable situation at the moment, and that's the reality that we face right now. And again, partly as a result of the failure, as a result of the failure of the politicians, them not providing basic needs for basic, them not providing an enabling environment, let me put it that way, for the citizens. There's a lot of political corruption, there's a lot of instability, insecurity, and all that. Is this a big threat? Now, the threat has been thwarted, actually, right now, and I think things are already back to normal. But that's a lesson also for everyone, especially for the politicians. You cannot continue to hold people at ransom for a long time and don't expect that there will be so much clapback from the people. And once the military or a group in the military sees that the people are susceptible, to kind of love them taking over, then they take that and use that as an opportunity to strike and, perpetrate a coup. So that's really what's really happening. And that's been trending. Oseni Rufai, Arise TV host, he says, I condemn the coup in Benin Republic. Coups are never the way forward. Yeah, coups are never the way forward. We all know that. But again, the politicians who disregards the law and the people, at some point, it becomes inevitable. Okay? So this is the guy when he was announcing. Okay?
Le comité militaire pour la refondation CMR, réuni ce jour, dimanche 7 décembre 2025 à Cotonou, a délibéré et décidé ce qu'il suit. Monsieur Patrice Talon est démis de
yeah, what's my Twitter? I'm not really that active on Twitter, but I'm going to drop it here. I'm going to drop it here, and hopefully I can work on that. Yeah. So that's it. Drop that. So that's what's been happening there. There are reports of an ongoing coup. Yeah, we've seen that, and that's what it is. Open source intel. Soldiers in Benin says they've carried out a coup. We've seen that one, and that's let me look at Grok and see what the latest is. As of 7 December, Benin has experienced an attempted military coup that was swiftly foiled by the forces loyal to the president. It was kind of, I would say it was an attempted, but it wasn't successful. They took over a national TV. I mean, if you take over a national TV and you announce that you're kind of stopping, you're closing all the border of the states, and that you're also taking charge, I think it's an attempted one. It looks closer to in between a mutiny and a coup from what I'm seeing. Yeah. So, and where they announced was like 40 minutes to where you have the president's lodge. So again, but it was started. So Canada, actually, that's where I'm based in. Again, we'll see what happens. A small group of mutinous soldiers. So this is the highlight: scale and speed. The plot involved a small group of soldiers quickly neutralized by the majority of the military who reaffirmed loyalty to Talon. So that's it. So a small group, number 120, that's the number that they gave. I don't think that 20 is actually enough for you to be able to do that. Again, I'm going to dive into actually look at what's happening, the way the whole country is situated and structured. It's a small country though. Benin Republic is a very, very small country. So again, but 20 as a number trying to do the coup, I don't know if that was actually expected to be successful or if that's just a statement made by this small group of soldiers. I mean, even here it was saying it was a small group, and that was quickly neutralized by the majority of the military. The government responded. The interior minister, we just heard his speech, says that, you know what, the coup failed, and he described it as a mutiny aimed at destabilizing the state. I would think that it's more of a mutiny, than a full-blown coup. Because even the hierarchy of the military was not involved. I mean, there have been instances where you have small group of people, even younger officers, stage a successful coup. So again, that doesn't take the fact that there is some characteristics or some future of a coup in the international reaction. The African Union Commission strongly condemned the attempt. Well, ECOWAS also condemned the attempt of what happened in Guinea-Bissau. Guinea-Bissau is just recent, and that happened in November, where you had the former president of Nigeria, Goodluck Jonathan, wade into that matter. It was actually in Guinea-Bissau when the coup happened, and was stuck for a while until it was evacuated from Guinea-Bissau. This is the latest in a series of coup attempts across West Africa. And there's also kind of some, I would say, how do I put it now? maybe some mental awareness that every country in West Africa now, you could be prepared for a coup attempt. I'm telling you, you should actually know that this is a possibility now. I mean, look at the whole West African part of the African continent, and you discover that there's a lot of unrest happening and all that. So again, I believe that if you're a president now, you should know that if the level of security or the level of things happening in your country is not improving over a considerable period, that may actually be a plot for it. Now, there's also the question that are the politicians using this coup attempt as a way to still retain control? Because Guinea-Bissau president was the one that announced the coup against his government. I mean, that's quite insane. Okay, no casualty reported. Official statement indicates no death or injury with a focus now on investigation into the plotter. This was the timeline. Early morning, December 7, a group of soldiers launches the mutiny. Okay, then morning again, loyalist troops backed by the majority of the armed forces counter the takeover. Foreign Minister Olusegun Ajadi Bakari informs Ruta that forces are working to restore order, confirming that Talon is safe. Midday, December 7, Interior Minister releases a video, we've seen that on Facebook, declaring the coup is foiled, emphasizing the plot's limited scope and the military's overall loyalty. Government ministers assure the public that the situation is under control. Then this afternoon, the African Union Commission issued a strong condemnation, reaffirming support for Talon and calling for the restoration of constitutional normalcy. No further broadcasts from the mutineer are reported. Now, evening, December 7, investigation into the plotter begins with the government monitoring for any residual threat. Regional body ECOWAS is expected to respond in the coming days. That's where we are. And you could also see that also happening. Military. This is RFI. This is Al Jazeera. Interior Minister says coup attempt was thwarted. Benin government says foiled coup attempt. Benin Interior Minister 3 hours ago, the coup has been foiled. So right now, I think things are back to normal. Until the people rise up, the hardship will continue. Yeah, I mean, it's a shame that the citizens never take action to support. But at times it's not as black and white as we expect. You could also see that there might be there's a mix in Africa. At least I can talk about Nigeria. There's a mix of interplay between religion, between tribe, between ethnicity and all that. So it becomes at times more difficult, for you to have such an uprising that would cut across the whole place. But of recent, we've been seeing, different stuff happening, a series of protests that has also been happening across various countries, in Africa. But we'll see what happens. So I just saw that. I said I should come and, just talk about that. The President Patrice Talon has also been trending. Let me see if there is any recent stuff. I've seen most of these. I've reported on most of these. Nigeria fighter jets has been sent to Benin Republic amid military takeover. Or if Nigeria wants to be sending its jets amid this takeover, then I think they should be sending their jets to the forest, to the places where you have these bandits and the terrorists. Are we so quick to send help to other countries when our country itself is also facing difficult situation, where you have a mixture of banditry, kidnapping, terrorism, and all sorts? We'll see what happens. These soldiers sacrifice themselves to liberate their people, but no overwhelming support from the Benin Republic cities. Again, let me see. Okay, this is one. If the Nigerian military can act this fast, this is what I just said, to intervene for other countries, why then does insecurity continue to rise in Nigeria? It's ridiculous how this government takes us for granted. I fully agree with what Daniel Rega is saying here. The comments show how ignorant most people are. Deploying a fighter jet to Benin doesn't affect operation in the northeast. The Air Force has plane in the northern for insecurity there. The plane sent to Benin is from Lagos. You don't deploy all your assets to a conflict zone, leaving other areas porous. Oh, okay, whatever that means. Yeah. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, and we'll see what really goes on after this. But right now, I can say that the coup for sure was touted, or the mutiny, if you want to call it a mutiny, that was actually touted in Cotonou, and that's where things stands at the moment. Yeah. Okay, let me see if there is any other story. Okay, any other story with respect to what's happening. Let me just see. Let me see. Cotonou is also trending. Let me see what's up with Cotonou. Yeah. Benin government falls. Yeah, we've seen that one. Again, I'm just going to monitor and see what happens. Okay. So that's that about that. We've seen all this. This is the president. Let me see. There's an election happening very soon. Okay, there's an election. The president has not tweeted anything. The last tweet from the president, this is it. Let me see if I can see what he's talking about. August 1st. I'm not able to translate this. Let me see if I can translate. Show translation. It's with deep emotion that I presided over this August 1, 2025, the official ceremony making the commemoration with deep emotions, okay, of the 65th anniversary of our ascension to national and international sovereignty, whether it be our defense and security forces, particularly those engaged on various fronts, the Ivorian continent that came to support our festivities, or even the artists who elevated the event we were treated to remarkable performance. Okay, let me see. For what will remain my last one as president of the republic, for what will remain my last one, okay, I was deeply touched by the warmth of your words and could read all the faces today, a great deal of pride in belonging to our nation. Let me just go see if I can go through the profile, okay, of Benin and then their next election. And then there's an election coming, profile of Benin Republic. And when is their election? Because I learned that they're actually planning for an election right now. Benin citizens are docile like Nigerian citizens. I don't even hear about any news coming from that republic, right? And when is the next election? I don't hear stuffs coming from that republic. I know of Cotonou because that's where people actually used to transact and bring goods over to Nigeria. A lot of contraband coming through that. When is the next election? Okay, so I'm gonna just put that there. Let me even see. Like, I don't think they're even up to just 13 million. It's just like a Lagos, right? Yeah. So Republic of Benin. The Republic of Benin is a vibrant West African nation known for its rich cultural heritage, stable democratic transition until just today, when they had that Coup and strategic position as a regional trade hub. Exactly. That Cotonou is the trade hub where I think people transact and do stuff. Formerly the Kingdom of Dahomey. It gained independence from France in 1960. And I know Macron already tweeted. Let me see what he had to say. Macron already tweeted about what just happened. Let me see his tweet. Macron tweeted to Tinubu. Yeah, let me see. Yeah. So again, I mean, they were under that. I spoke with President Tinubu of Nigeria that I conveyed France solidarity in the face of various security challenges, particularly the terrorist threat in the north. At his request, we will strengthen our partnership. No, when was this one? That was 4 hours ago. Yeah, let me see if I can get his real tweet. Breaking news, President Macron just announced that he spoke with President Tinubu and expressed France solidarity as Nigeria confronts rising security challenges, especially terrorism in the north. At President Tinubu's request, France will strengthen its partnership and support for affected communities. He urged global partners to step up to their engagement because no one can afford to sit on the sideline. Okay, we'll see what happens. Again, has he made any announcement with respect to the coup? Let me see if I can see if he had made any announcement with respect to the coup that just happened earlier today. President Macron. Okay, let's see. Okay, nothing about that. Yeah, just 6 hours ago, was talking to the president of Nigeria. Okay, and that he would not be a spectator. He also spoke to Zelensky 21 hours ago. Zelensky is the president of Ukraine. Well, that's that about that. No information with respect to the coup that happened in Benin Republic. All right, Chigozie, welcome back to the show. Thanks for joining. Okay, so we'll see what happens. It's like a fourth quarter of coup and coup attempt in West Africa. And I mean, one coup alone is a lot. Not talk about successive coup, a successive mutiny and attempt, you know, to remove the president in power. Okay, Macron pledges French aid to Nigeria against northern terror threats. Well, I hope that they are not involved also in sending in all of these things that is happening. I don't know, because there's been a lot of international interference in the northern part of Nigeria, and also some of this insecurity happening. We can't say it's just local. There are hierarchies and there are things that have been happening that you could see. There are times when they see foreign nationals, even in those places where the insecurity is the worst. Let me go back again and just look at the profile of Benin. So 13 million population. Yeah, that's just like a Lagos state. Over 60% under the age of 25, whereas most African countries are. Group includes Phone, 39%, Ajan, 15%. Oh, so you have 12% of Yorubas in Benin Republic. That's quite interesting. And then you have Bariba, 9%. Let me see. The total area is 114,000. Hi, Favor. Welcome back to the show. Kilometer, about twice the size of Georgia, USA. Yeah, it borders Togo to the west, Nigeria to the east, Burkina Faso to northwest, and Niger to northeast. 121-kilometer coastline along the Gulf of Guinea terrain, including sandy beaches, lagoon, and all of those. Tropical in nature, 2 rainy season. Okay, we'll see that. Now, the GDP is what I want to see. Just 22 billion. That's very small. That's very small. 22 billion for a population of 13.8 million. Growth rate is 6.5 annually. Key sector are agriculture, cocoa, cotton, cashew, palm oil. Employs 70% of the workforce. So, Benin Republic is quite agrarian in nature. Looking at that, yeah, they have a trade and port services through Cotonou, a major West African hub, textile, emerging tourism, and currency. Let me see what's up with that. The next election is slated for early 2026, marking a transitional period under the 2019 constitutional amendment that aligns legislative terms with the presidential cycle, shifting from 4 to 5 years. Yeah, so the guy was there. So there was an election in 2019. There'll be another election in early 2026. So the presidential election is going to be on the 12th of April, 2026. So while we're having a coup now, yeah, Lagos might be bigger. Yeah, I do agree. GDP-wise, let me see the GDP of Lagos. Yeah, GDP of Lagos. Yeah, it's going to be bigger, actually. If the whole country is around 200 and something, and Lagos, 200 and something billion, based on the new currency devaluation and all that. Yeah, I think Lagos is bigger in terms of economy. I agree with that. But in terms of population, so I was comparing the population. So the GDP of Lagos, let me see. Put it in US dollar, bro. PPP. No, I need the GDP in USD. Okay, in USD, 43.5 billion. That was 80 in 2024, full year, 85 billion. So that's way, way, way bigger. Way bigger. That's times 4 of what we have in Benin Republic. Let me see if there's anything with respect to that. On YouTube, let me see if there's anything. Okay, this is CGTN Africa, 5 hours ago. I want something more recent. Benin coup thwarted. Let me see this one.
A military coup declared in Benin on Sunday has failed, the country's interior minister said just hours after soldiers took over state television to announce the dissolution of government.
Okay, yeah, we saw
Au petit
this.
matin de ce dimanche.
In the early morning of Sunday, December 7th, 2025, a small group of soldiers launched a mutiny with the aim of destabilizing the state and its institutions.
Face à cette situation,
Faced with the situation, the Beninese armed forces and their leadership, true to their oath, remained committed to the republic.
sont restées républicaines.
Their response allowed them to maintain control of the situation and thwart the attempt.
Et de faire échec à la manœuvre.
I guess the guy's life flashed in front of him like, wow, it's my life. Yeah. But again, looking at 20 soldiers took over the national TV station, announcing that they are taking over the country, really seems more like a mutiny to me. But they're going to tag it as a coup, though. We're going to tag it as a coup because it's an attempt also. And they couldn't even move. They couldn't advance. The presidential villa to where the announcement was made is like 40 minutes, and they couldn't even advance. So it was more like a low-level, poorly planned coup.
There's been no official news about President Patrice Talon since gunshots were heard around the presidential residence. However, the signal to the state television and radio has been restored after being cut off. West Africa has recently seen a string of military coups, and the regional ECOWAS bloc was quick to condemn the attempt in a statement.
Yeah.
Benin has also witnessed multiple coups since its independence from France in 1960. In January, 2 associates of Talon were sentenced to 20 years in prison for an alleged coup plot.
20 years. It's serious business. Liberation is serious business. I mean, all the things they did, going to a TV station without even you having a plan to take over. I mean, I don't know, man. It's more like somebody fighting a battle and then you get into the middle and you don't know. Are they trying to make a statement? Are they trying to create a diversionary tactics? Should we be worried that there might be a major coup that will soon happen again in Benin Republic? I mean, it's a small country. It's a small country and it's been relatively peaceful. No easy way to freedom. Yeah, I mean, talk about the long walk to freedom. Talk about even Mali right now, right? Even with that, there's still a lot of international resistance to that guy. We'll see what happens.
Last year.
Yeah, so that's it. No major talk. We'll see what happens with that. Benin coup attempt, fails as president supporters rally around him, I believe. Regain control. Attempted coup d'etat in Benin. Minister says situation is under control. Soldiers appear on Benin State TV. We've seen the announcement. We've seen what happened. I mean, this will be it.
Dear compatriots, on this day, Sunday, December 7th, 2025, we, the Defense and Security Forces, after careful consideration and to provide a point of reference for our country, have decided to assume our responsibilities following the multiple excesses of Mr. Patrice Talon's government.
Yeah, thanks for joining, guys. I appreciate if you could subscribe. We're trying to build this community and build this channel as we move on to 2026 and also the 2027 elections in Nigeria. Thanks.
In terms of security, this concerns the continued deterioration of the security situation in northern Benin.
Northern Benin, okay.
The ignorance and negligence of the situation of our soul brothers who fell at the front and especially that of their families abandoned to their fate by the policies of Mr. Patrice Talon. Despite the many promises relayed with great fanfare in the media, the Military Committee for the Refoundation of the CMR has decided, 1. The Constitution of November 2025 is suspended. All institutions are dissolved. The activities of political parties are suspended until further notice. Benin's land, sea and air borders are closed until further notice. The seizure of power at this time reflects the firm determination of the Military Committee for Refoundation to put an end to the exclusion of all social classes in our country without distinction. In the continuation of the transition and to restore national cohesion, the National Army will exercise full powers of the State of Benin until further notice. All civil servants in Benin, all workers in our cities and countryside, wherever they may be, must continue to carry out their daily tasks normally with greater faith and discipline.
Okay. And they're all young. They're all young. They're all younger soldiers. I would say 60-70% mutiny, 40% coup. That's the way I'm going to rank this.
As for the people, the army invites them to freely go about their business in peace and tranquility. To the international community. The Military Committee for Refoundation reassures that Benin's international commitments as well as human rights will be respected.
Okay.
Finally, the army solemnly undertakes to give the Beninese people hope for a truly new era where brotherhood, justice and work reign, a symbol of our national unity.
Yeah, good evening, DG. In Nigeria, we don't want coup in Nigeria. All we want is Biafra. Well, that's a long road. Yeah, good evening. You're welcome back. B Helly 8920. Welcome to the show. Let's see.
Long live the soul. Long live the refoundation of our dear homeland. Long live Benin, the republic or death, the people first.
Okay, so that was it. I guess already signed out that you know what, we're gonna do what we've got to do. But again, that's it's better for them to follow and join Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali's AES movement. Okay, probably the most convincing article you ever put out. Would have been Benin makes it the 8th country in Africa that is currently under military rule. Now that didn't work because at the end of the day, the whole coup was thwarted. So they're no longer under a military rule. They are now back to a civilian rule, except something drastic happens. Let me see. And who cares? Let them solve their own issue. The location of the country and the intent of the coup make you think the answer is quite obvious. Yeah, so again, one of the reasons that was put forth in that announcement with respect to the coup attempt or the mutiny attempt was the security situation in northern Benin. Northern Benin, particularly areas bordering Burkina Faso, Niger, and Nigeria, faces a deteriorating security situation driven primarily by jihadist insurgents spilling over from the Sahel region. The same situation that we're faced in Nigeria also, that we're facing in Nigeria today. The insecurity, the insurgents is crazy. Groups like Jamaat, Nasrat al-Islam wa Muslimin, JNIM with the L, and Al-Qaeda affiliate have intensified attack since early 2025. Same problem we're facing in Nigeria. Targeting military posts, police stations, and civilians. This has resulted in significant casualties, displacement, and economic disruption. The crisis contributed to a failed coup attempt on December 7. That was the reason the guy gave. If you, as a president of a country, okay, is not able to guarantee the security and life of your people, this is what happens. Whether you like it or not, it's not about a matter of maybe you don't want it. I don't want a military rule, but this is what happens when you cannot guarantee the security and the safety of the people that you are expected to govern. Okay, that's what happens. Let me see what we have in here in this chart. Okay, a positive chain reaction, freedom for Africa. Yeah, I mean, the politicians will always try to, repress that. Democracy will never give Nigerians protection. But what will be, because again, military coup, as it were, is a crazy thing. What are we trying to do? Yeah, we are 1, 2, 3 here, and we have only 8 likes. Please like, share. Yeah, thanks for joining. Please like, share. Thanks for the shout out. The jihadist insurgent JNIM and Al-Qaeda, affiliate is a dominant perpetrator conducting cross-border raid from Burkina Faso and Niger, or Niger, depending on how you call it. Attack often involves ambush, IED, large-scale assault on security forces. Other groups like La Kurama, a former self-defense militias turned extremist, operates near the Nigerian border. So now we have Kingpin. Welcome to the show. You have banditry and kidnapping. Criminal gangs engage in cattle rustling, smuggling, and abduction, sometimes overlapping with jihadist activities. Kidnap risks are high for foreigners, aides, and locals. Do you understand? Yeah, the problem is if they want to come in 1 or 2 years, how are you sure that they're going to hand over to the civilian government? Because right now we've got a major state of terror in the northern part of the country, of Nigeria. And it seems like, let's see what happens with the new Minister of Defense. But the infrastructure and the intelligence gathering that we have in Nigeria is poor compared to how these guys operate. Or possibly there is no political will. Let's see what happens, with respect to this new Minister of Defense. But I'm telling you, it's a tough one. In fact, look at what is happening. Look at the saga. I covered that yesterday between VDM and this guy, Harrison, and the fact that an individual citizen is now the one spearheading rescue operation in the bushes of different states of the country, in the forests, in the ungoverned areas. So that's what happens, especially when you have military personnel being killed unceremoniously. There's precedence for handing over a current decadence of Nigeria. The current decadence of Nigeria is unprecedented. Yeah, again, it's crazy. Like you don't even know, how entrenched and how deep these guys have infiltrated the system. And not just the system alone, I'm talking about even with respect to the political system of Nigeria. So these are the key threats that Benin Republic is facing. Jihadist insurgents, banditry and kidnapping, border vulnerability. Why can't all these countries together that we've named, okay, Burkina Faso, Niger, Nigeria, and Benin Republic come together and have a very strong enforcement around their border? I don't know. So major incidents in 2025 in Benin Republic. This year saw a surge in violence with over 100 security personnel and civilians killed in northern Benin. 100. And this is a small country. January 8th, Point Triple near Mekrum River, Alibori. JNIM militants stormed a military base. That's the deadliest attack of the year. 35 plus soldiers killed. Just one day. Soldiers. January 25. Parc du W National Park. Again, these are French words. So ambush on a military post. 28 soldiers killed. Again. In April. What? Parc du W National Park. Attack on 2 military posts. 54 soldiers killed. If you're asking why do you have the coup attempt? This is another thing. So you had 35 killed in January 8, 28 killed in January 25, and in April, sounds like Nigeria, right? Yeah, sounds like Nigeria, bro. In June 4, Sanogu, okay, suspected JNIM raid on police station. 3 soldiers, 2 police killed. That was in June. June 12. For those in Nigeria, June 12 is that day we try to celebrate MKO Abiola when you had the election and all. Baso, JNIM outpost attack. Further South claimed incidents. Unspecified, weapons seized in response. June 22, Malaville. And if they come and tell you that 35 plus killed, just add another 10 or 20 to that number. Malanville, custom post near Niger border, gunmen attacked, multiple injuries, material damage. September 15, just recently, jihadist village raid with kidnappings and threats, unspecified civilian impact. The truth is, Nigeria is like some other African countries have been in denial. Yeah, denial of being at war, both politically and economically. This is evident in the devaluation of the currency and insurgents. There's a bigger problem. We're in a war situation in Nigeria. We may not want to admit that, but we're really in a war situation in Nigeria, where the security to life and properties cannot even be guaranteed. Now, ongoing, northern border area now, when this says this is ongoing, series of JNIM incursions. Beninese forces neutralized. 20 plus militants. 20 plus militants killed. Beninese armed forces. Let me see if I can get something so that I'm not just the one shouting here. Let me see. Benin insurgents. Let me see this. Christopher Musa will most likely have a challenge with Rebado. Okay, we'll come to that later. But let me see. Insurgents, Benin Republic. Insurgents and terrorist attack. Attack in 2025. Let me just put 2025 so that we're not going back to let me see there. Okay, let's go. Benin Coup. Yeah, I know I'm going to just get Benin stuffs here. You know that, and that's the problem. Yeah. 1 hour ago. Let me see. Police. Wow, I'm going to look at this one later. What is this? Police uncover illegal mortuary linked to organ harvesting operation in Imo State. What the hell? Coup attempt stopped in Benin. Yeah, okay. So really, okay, 7 months ago, ECOWAS condemned deadly terrorist attack in Benin, calls for stronger regional cooperation. That's what I'm saying. All these countries must come together. Let me see what happened. Let me see this one.
Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has condemned the deadly terrorist attack that struck the Republic of Benin on April 17, 2025. In a statement released by the ECOWAS Commission, the regional body expressed shock and profound dismay at the incident, warning that such acts of terror are designed to destabilize member states and instill fear among citizens. President of the ECOWAS Commission, His Excellency Omar Aliyu Taure,
Hi, Obina, welcome back.
Heartfelt condolences to the families of the victims, the government and people of Benin. He also wished a swift and full recovery to the injured. The Commission reaffirmed its unwavering support for the government of Benin and pledged solidarity with the West African nation as it confronts the growing threats of terrorism.
Yeah, so that's it. That's it. So, I mean, you have all of this happening like almost every quarter. Okay, in January, you have two that claimed more than 60 soldiers. In April, you have 54 and all of that. Now, ongoing, there's been a lot of that happening. Regional dynamism, tension with Niger, include accusation of jihadist training based in Benin. If you have a training base in Benin, and that was denied actually by the Benin government, I just want to put that there. Hi, Shegun, welcome back to the show. ECOWAS condemned the December coup attempt as unconstitutional. The UN Security Council expressed concern over Sahel spillover. Okay, international support. France has advised citizens to stay indoor. Post-coup, UNESCO monitors conservation sites like WARLY, Panjari amid insecurity. Travel and safety advisory. Okay, the US has said do not travel. UK has said there's an high risk and there's an high general risk. So that's one of the things that guy mentioned, you know, in his address. Now, the reason why they want to take over is because of the insecurity situation in Benin Republic. And we did go through that also. And also talking about Benin Republic, there was a major revision to the constitution in November 15, 2025. Key changes introduced. Okay, presidential term. President elected for 5 years, renewable once, maximum of 10 years. So you have somebody coming in who will spend 10 years as a president. President for elect. So the new provision. So that was the previous provision. So before now, you could do 5 years in Benin Republic and then get elected the second time and make it 10 years. As if that was not enough. Look at the new constitutional revision. The president is now going to be elected for 7 years. 7 years. And you can renew it one more time, and then you're spending 14 years as a president. Bro, that's a lot. So for 2 years, if you have two presidents that does a consecutive stuff, that means you have like 28 years, just two people running the affairs of a country. Candidate must be Beninese, right? I don't know if that's the right way to pronounce it, by birth or naturalized for 10 years plus. Ages from 40 to 70 at least I agree with this age stuff, right? Once you're above 70, you can't be the president. You have good moral character, although you now start having some football age, though. And this aligns with the upcoming 2026 election, does not reset term limit for incumbents, potentially allowing Talon a path to extension if re-elected. Reinforces eligibility criteria from 2019 revisions. Another 7 years, bro. Let me see. Yeah. 3 times is 21 years. But I think they have a max of 2 years, though. Let me see. Max of 14 years. Sorry, 2 terms, rather. Max of 14 years. Yeah, we'll see what happens. This was another change. Okay. Let me see this one. Article 80, Unicameral National Assembly. Deputy serves 5 years, renewable up to twice. Okay, that's fine. Local mandates, 5-year term, 7-year term, aligned with national cycle. So you have your mayors, your councillors, they serve for 7-year term. Wow. And then you have the general oath and preamble. Updated oath emphasizes defense of the revised constitution, blah, blah, blah. Timing and process. Adopted just months before the 2026 poll. The reform followed the constitutional court validation of candidates like finance minister, okay, and opposition figure. Okay. The nighttime votes marked by power outage, due accusation of procedural irregularities from opponents like the forces, correspond. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce this one. Supporters' view. Proponent argued that it modernizes institution, promotes stability, okay, while critics says that opposition decries it as a tailor-made for the ruling union people, fearing a less democratic Senate and power concentration. Lower voter turnout in recent election. Yeah, current status post-coup. The suspension by coup leaders invalidates the revisions entry into forces, international response, including ECOWAS, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Yeah, so 14 years is a lot. Even 14 years is a lot. For just one person. It's a lot. And I won't deny that. And that's crazy. So that's the problem that they're facing there. The insecurity is a major one. Insecurity is a major one. And I know that that is the breeze that is blowing right now in West Africa. And we've seen people clamor for that, people call for that, even in Nigeria. But we have to remember where we're coming from. Unfortunately, our politicians, they do have the same blood in them because they don't really care for the people. I mean, the governors in Nigeria, I don't see what most of them do. The National Assembly, I don't see what most of them do. And it's quite unfortunate. Yeah, let me just take a break from that news and just see. I just stumbled on this right now in Imo State. Police uncover illegal mortuary linked to organ harvesting and all of those. Let me see this one. And then we'll also talk about security issue. I can see this guy saying that Tinubu, Reno, and Shehu pushed the Christian genocide. How did Tinubu push that? I don't understand. But let me look at this first.
Operatives led by Imo State Police Commissioner Danjuma Aboki arrived at Ugudu Cottage Hospital and mortuary services along the Umu axis of the Owerri Aba Expressway in Ngokpala local government area. Acting on verified intelligence, the police allege the facility had been used as a clandestine dumping site for mutilated bodies suspected to be victims of organ trafficking.
Wow.
Powered inside an unregistered morgue.
State of
let me listen to this guy.
Unfair preservation, and most of the bodies are mutilated and in a very terrible state of preservation. So, and even the environment does not depict an environment where bodies should be kept, because they are in very big state of disrepair. The building is dilapidated, the bodies are terribly preserved, and the environment is terribly insecure.
Commissioner Aboki disclosed that the suspected operator allegedly used a hotel in front of the site as a front for the illegal activities.
Wow. So they use hotels to, I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that via discretion here. Again, I'm trying to just move forward when I see anything that
will be demolished.
Seems kind of crazy.
Scattered corpses
mutilated corpses in this environment. What we have seen.
How many of such stuff do we still have in Nigeria all around? I remember in Ibadan then they had one in Mocha, and there are stuff like this all around. Oh, sorry, you have kidnapping also, happening in rapid rates in Nigeria. And this is what is happening. This is the state of the country is just in such an utter chaos.
Corpses that we discover are more than 100. And the owner of the mortuary is on the run. We sent for him, he refused to come. And severally, we mounted surveillance, whether we'll be able to get him. He's on the run.
He's on the run since when? Since when? I mean, I don't know, but again...
by the information we gather, they use this place in dumping the corpses of what they call organs harvest.
Wow.
Organs harvest.
A further sweep of the premises revealed more troubling findings, including a personal shrine linked to the suspect and an hideout believed to have
a shrine in the place. Let me move forward a little bit.
Wanted, and the efforts to apprehend him are ongoing.
They declare him wanted. He's on the road. We did not see anybody here. And this health hazard. And by his grace, the Commissioner of Health is here. The pathology is here. We may soon make a mass burial.
Wow. Commissioner for Health, Dr. Chioma Egu, confirmed the facility is not registered among licensed mortuaries in the state.
Wow.
She warned that the site has been identified as a serious public health hazard, posing...
Yeah. Again, I mean, look at the whole thing. We don't have a consistent and a stable, I would say, urban planning in Nigeria. Most of these are cities. So you see things all around that that shouldn't be where they are. And that's the problem.
Significant risk to nearby residents.
There's nothing to show that this place is a mortuary. Sure. There's nothing happening here, or even if you look at the corpses, there's nothing to show that there's any way they were trying to preserve them. So we are declaring this place a place of public health concern. It is hazardous to the environment, and we advise when we get back, we'll sit down and then we'll put down our reports, and then we'll advise His Excellency.
Okay, so we'll see what happens. This is Imo State. Imo State was the state where they had an economic summit just this last week. We'll see what happened. Tinubu has planted all the machineries to rig the 2027 elections. Shore releases disturbing information. I don't know if I want to listen to this. Then Tinubu and Shehu, Sonny push the Christian genocide stuff. It's also welcome to the show. Let me see this one.
So you do not think President Tinubu has done the right thing, or is at the driver's seat in terms of decision making over security situation in this country?
No, he hasn't. The only decision he took is because of Trump. He hasn't taken any decision all this while.
Yeah. I was like a few weeks ago, like even at the beginning of the year, I was really complaining that I don't understand Tinubu's strategy, Tinubu's plan. First of all, even let's forget about the North. I was even talking about the Southeast. You can say all you want about, Nnamdi Kanu and all that. He's facing trials. I don't know, the appeal was kind of was rejected from what I've not gone into that. I'm going to listen to that. But how do you tell me that this guy has been in prison, okay, facing his own trial, and there is still a high level of insecurity in the Southeast? Is it controlling the Southeast from the prison? This is the Southeast state where you have governors, you have House of Assembly members, you have local government chairmen, you have senators at the national level, you have House of Rep members at the national level, you have minister you have ministers, not just one, from the Southeast. So why on earth? And I was telling people that I think this was an abandonment at the federal level. At the federal level, how did you allow the Southeast to go down that path of insecurity? How come the governors couldn't even control the place? Now, you may want to blame, okay, fine, you want to blame these people, you want to blame that people. You can blame whoever you want to blame. But how come there was no, like, the job of your governor is to secure property, and lives. The job of the president is to secure property and life. Did Tinubu deliberately leave the Southeast to burn? That's the question I'm asking. Did they deliberately leave the Southeast to burn? That people cannot go back to the Southeast in December right now. This time in Nigeria, people will always travel back to the Southeast. Why was there a conspiracy to let the Southeast become ungovernable? Don't tell me that these people have higher weapons. Don't tell me that these people are more sophisticated than the military. Yeah, they arrested some people, but how come, intelligence-wise, how come in the whole security architecture of the Southeast, why did we allow the Southeast to burn? And that in implication also goes to the North. Where is Tinubu? Because when Fubara, again, we're going to go into that later, when Fubara made a threat, Fubara is the governor of Rivers State, he only made a threat. There was no evidence that he was going to carry out that threat. He only made a threat that they should not think, and talking about Wike, that they should not think that Wike is the only one that has the monopoly of doing stuff. Hi, Yuzi, thanks. How is Abuja? Thanks for watching. Again, he said we can bomb pipelines. That was what Fubara said. 2 days after, or a few days after, he was removed as the governor. Why? Because there was oil money involved. He was removed as the governor. Now, you can the debate on that, the emergency powers of the president, we've had a back and forth on that one. I'm not going to go into that. But how did we allow Rivers State to regain its stability and thwarted any insurgents that may want to arise from the fight between Wike, who is a Tinubu loyalist, and Fubara? But we cannot put a security structure in the Southeast that would ensure that human lives are valued and are given a good premium on. That's the problem. And that's the question I'm asking. So again, I agree with this guy. Like, Tinubu didn't do anything until when Trump started talking. He didn't even change the security personnel, the minister and all that.
But he hasn't. The only decision he took is because of Trump. He hasn't taken any decision all this while. He didn't even care. I didn't even see him doing anything. It was because of Trump and one, it was because for his own safety. And he's selfish because we had a rumor that there was a coup in this country, and suddenly we saw that the service chief was changed, and that is personal. Because I do not see those level of enthusiasm on his own part to say, look, let me go here, let me go here. How many places has he visited? How many places has he been able to comfort people? Look at what happened at Capitol Hill the last time, at the presidential American White House, where 2 personnel were shot. What happened? The president addressed the nation. The nation.
Till today, we've not seen Tinubu come out to even have a press conference. I mean, he released some statements, and then you have the usual lapdogs, they will just kind of, regurgitate whatever. He released certain statements. He's never addressed this issue head on. Hi, Victor, welcome.
The security advisor addressed the nation. Everybody was addressing the nation, including the mayor of Washington. But we are having people, getting kidnapped. People are shot and killed in the church at Kwara, and you never seen the president to come out and speak with the people, because it's about compassion. You must be able to relate and sympathetic to the well-being of our people, because people are missing it. The primary purpose why government was created is not for government to build school. Yeah, you could build school. This is, you captured it in section in fundamental principle of state policy, but it is not, that will come up. But the primary purpose is the security of life and property. Because it is when property and life are secure that people flourish. Because if you have a property and you can't live there, you can't flourish. If you have a community, you can't travel there.
No, I agree. I mean, hi, Kathy, welcome back to the show. Victor watching from Southeast Enugu, to be precise. Oh, wow. How is Enugu doing? Again, you cannot tell me that you have a state, and that's why, again, El Rufai, Southern Kaduna, I still don't understand why the guy is parading himself everywhere. And people are not asking him, how come you let Southern Kaduna burn when you were a governor? What happened? Right now, I believe if we have a functioning National Assembly, now they did a 3-hour, session, okay? But we've not even heard anything. Oh, where is come? Oh, good to know. Yeah. I don't know. Why?
Community won't flourish. So government has failed in making sure this fundamental objective, primary objective of government, to secure the lives and property of our people, is in safe hands.
You recently referred to the security situation in the north central region of the country as a massacre. Does this mean that you agree with former U.S. President, the U.S. President Donald Trump's characterization of the situation as Christian genocide?
For me, I think there's a lot of killing. And I think the killing is one-sided, to be sincere with you.
Okay.
We've not seen, I've not seen, any evidence where, Christians are leading a crusade, to kill anybody. And I think that the level of genocide that is happening, is the responsibility of government to stop it. It is not in me to give it a narrative or to give it a definition.
So you're saying
okay, so respectfully, I think El-Rufai is a terrorist sympathizer. I don't even know, because again, for El-Rufai, I don't even understand his own situation. I know that during the elections in 2023, he was going around mosques telling people that they have to vote for the Muslim tickets. And we also had Obi also go to the south and saying that, there's a possibility of a religious war. I don't like both attitude. I don't think we should move the country towards a religious stance or a religious war rhetorics. But again, that being said, I think, that this whole thing has an interplay of tribe, interplay also of religion. I think it does. And again, the problem is this, even within, the people are saying that Muslims are also being killed. Yeah, those ones that are not sympathetic to the terrorists. But the first point of call is always the churches. Like we can see what happened even in Kwara State during a live service, how they invaded a church and kidnapped and did a lot of stuff. And I'm not interested in labeling stuff. Hi, Emmanuel, welcome to the show. I'm not interested in labeling stuff. I'm interested in securing the life of everybody. And anyone who is involved in killing people in the name of religion or in the name of resources or in the name of farmers and other class should be eliminated. It's as simple as
Christian genocide.
But there's a genocide in this country.
Is there a Christian genocide?
It could be ethnic, it could be it could be regional, and it could be a Christian one. It could be take any form.
What do you think?
But what I feel is that there's a massacre in this country, and it's a genocide against the minority and the Christian population of the Middle Belt. There's no doubt. We can't color it, because you can't come to a community in Yawata and wipe out 200 and some people overnight, and you tell me that we should not say that there's something going on. You can't go to Biron, go to Riom, go to Bokos, and people are dying. No, we shouldn't continue like that. Yes, there are people dying on the both two sides of the divide, but leaders in the north must wake up, and they must be sincere to themselves.
Yeah, because they're kind of sympathetic. You have this guy Gumi, or what's this called? Sheikh Gumi. Sheikh Gumi's father. Sheikh Gumi's father, I read an article that he actually said he would never in his life allow a Christian to rule Nigeria. So imagine the household that Sheikh Gumi grew up in, if that's your father's ideology. And that's why I came to Ibadan. I don't even know how this guy is still walking free. Now look at what happened in Benin Republic. The soldiers apparently were annoyed that their own men are being killed. That was the first reason they gave in the coup attempt. Yeah, Kathy said we need to move towards developmental humanity. Yeah, but then for you to do that, the politicians must stop stealing the money. The governors are in so much money right now that they've ever seen in the history of Nigeria. Despite the fact that the people are they're dying of whatever, hunger, sickness, and all that, of insecurity. Safety in the entire East has become an individual and group affair, says Nska. Yeah, I don't even know what the current situation of things are. Hi, Azzy, welcome to the show.
People who started this problem were doing it based on their political selfish interest by creating a system that eventually, has gone beyond the reach and control of their own people. And the only way we can stop it, there was a time in this country I didn't believe that the Nigerian can strip, put a bomb on himself and explode. I didn't believe it. I was sitting with all my friends who were generals today, but they were, junior officers at the time. We were talking about, I said, no, it can't happen in Nigeria.
No, so again, nothing, you can't tell me anything cannot happen. Those people that are doing it, they have the same blood flowing in them as you are. It's the programming. Once you're able to expose people that don't have hope or that believe in certain ideology and religion and believe that if you kill, that they're going to give you certain virgins up there, it's just brainwashing. And that's why there was one thing I was listening to with respect to Hitler. That people say, oh, I can never be an Hitler that killed 6 million Jews. But the fact that you even said that you can be also puts you in a state but that makes you susceptible. Yeah. And they're getting away with all that, and that's what I don't understand. Yeah, I mean, it's fact that you now have kidnappers and you have people now that they are even going on TikTok and brandishing the money. Look at what happened between Harrison and VDM. I talked about that yesterday. That now the whole problem is even now saying the kidnappers are now saying that the money is not complete. What happened? You people are stealing my ransom money. And now we left the guy in captivity, the husband. For those who don't know, there is this couple in Edo State that was kidnapped. The kidnapper asked for 20 million. They gave them the 20 million less 5.4. And now the kidnappers are saying the money is not complete. The person that was meant to deliver the ransom was saying that he was actually using it as a tactical, strategic move and all that. So it becomes very dangerous. So you can't tell me that you don't think people will blow themselves up. Once you brainwash them, you give them the ideology, you know, it just becomes a problem.
I lost a relative. So it is a very bad situation that is going on. And the only way we can save it now is that Nigeria has become a very lucrative center for banditry. For those who want to make money. We have one of the most porous border crossing in the world. You are from Niger to Cameroon and the Chad border. People are just crossing.
I mean, so it comes to the point that some of your friends are in Washington, D.C., and they are the ones pushing the Trump administration that there is Christian genocide and that this government is killing Christians.
I've never had a friend per se that I would say is in the U.S.
When I say your friends, those there are information as to the fact that those whom you have political association and affiliation with are in Washington, D.C., and they are the ones pushing this narrative against Nigeria.
There's nothing like that. The people pushing this narrative are people who are in government today. It is Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It is the APC, them Shehu Sani, all of them who were posting on Twitter, including Ron Omokri, who were writing on Twitter, who were speaking to the U.S. government that there's Christian genocide in this country. Go and look at it. The records are there. They can delete.
How did Reno do that? I don't get it. Nigeria can't work with this so-called Fulanis. We must go. I think what they really understand is force. What these people really understand is force. Once they see that your president is docile, or they see that the whole hierarchy of the government is docile, then they're not going to do anything. They will just keep moving on. They'll just keep moving on. They're not going to change their ways. It's when you put in the force, when they know that if you do anything, I'm not just going to kill those on the field or in the forest. I'm going to go after their sponsors, after their leaders, after those that are pushing this agenda. If you can't do that, then it becomes a problem. Yeah, you have to respond with force. Nigeria's situation is actually getting out of hand, and the cause of our problem is the elite, causing confusion among the citizens while they are busy arming the terrorists to kill. Did you hear about all those trucks that they just saw a lot of illegal guns and all that? Hi, Video Gallery, welcome to the show.
The Nigerian public knows the truth. They were the one pushing it. But today, this document have come to the forefront of discussion. And the American government is treating their proposal and their petition to the government. So they cannot deny it. And I cannot say that I have any person. If I have a person in the United States that they pushing it, I will be here and I will admit it. There's nothing to run about and there's nothing to hide. But the fact that I have nobody in the United States today that are saying pushing, apart from the information that I've seen during the Jonathan regime, Jonathan administration, where Bola Ahmed Tinubu categorically made statement that there's Christian genocide. When I've seen some from Shehu Sani, when I've seen from Reno Mokre and others, they've made this statement more than several times, and they've also communicated this statement to the United States. So for the challenge we have is that people are not willing, people are not consistent in their principles and in their public statement. They will say,
Okay, so he's saying that it's Reno. How much do we lose every year? How much do we lose every year to all of these things in Zamfara, Northwest? Okay, Northwest. So they're saying that the Northwest region bears the brunt. okay, with 80% of operations illegal, contributing disproportionately to the $9 billion national loss. $9 billion, not naira, from the north, contributing majorly to that 9 billion is the Northwest. So imagine how much the North is taken away. How much has been taken away from the North? From the national revenue. So when they go to the South and other states in Nigeria that have crude oil, they mine that, they explore that, and then the owe money, okay, minus the bunkering, minus the illegal stuff, is paid to the federal government. The federal government then takes the old revenue and shares it amongst the states. What happens to the 9 billion that is happening from the operation of illegal mining in the Northwest? At this point, we need a real-time response to the threat of insecurity. Yeah. I think the Bukhara or they that put those broken guns on the said, I didn't get that one. You have to find the root of the problem. So in Zamfara, where we have gold, the key impact, it funds banditry. So these people mine, okay, 80% plus illegal operations. So your major gold, there is real gold in Zamfara. And then our gold reserve is even bigger than what they have in South Africa. They smuggle that to Benin and Niger. We just spoke about the circle of insecurity, that map, where the real insecurity we're facing is in Benin, Niger, Nigeria. Okay? And now you see what's happening? 80% of the illegal mining is happening in Zamfara with respect to gold. The major share, okay, of the 9 billion being lost annually, $1.8 billion, not naira, in gold reserve is lost annually from Zamfara. So why do you think we have insecurity? Do you think it's all those low-level guys carrying gun and going to villages, making sure that people move out of that village? They attack. That's the first point. Then they move people out. Then the illegal miners then come in. They've seen foreign nationals in all those mining sites. If 9 billion is getting out of our country annually, then what are you talking about? Do you think these people don't have people in the military? Do you think these people don't have people in politics? Do you know how much is $9 billion is? Do you know how much $9 billion is? So let's not deceive ourselves and just think that it's a function of so many things. So there are those that are ideologically, the gold will make it out. Cotonou is a major hub. They have a way to, they ship it. They ship it. They ship it out of this place and then it goes to international. But that's what I'm saying. The security problem in Nigeria is not just some people that are just, low level. These are higher ups. These are big eaters in the society. Maybe some of them, we even know them, but we don't know they're involved. Do you think they have all these jets moving around, flying and dropping weapons? There's been an account of how the military at times withdraw from a place, okay, and then you now have attack the following day. The following day, not even a week or 2 weeks after. Imagine what the 9 billion would do to our infrastructure. Imagine what that would do. Imagine what that would do every year. So look at it now. Money from the south goes to the federal government. Money from the north is being illegally diverted. How does that help the nation? Another one, gold. Look at this one. Zamfara, we said gold. Again, Osho State gold, illegal miners also, river pollution, high formal royalties, 1.4 billion naira. So this is lower, this is just naira, but significant undeclared extraction. Substantial states loses development fund, part of 37.6% Southwest royalty shares, but illegal ops erode potential. That's Osho State. Plateau State, we all know what's happening in Plateau. Remember what's happening in Plateau State, North Central. They have thin and they have coal, abandoned pits, organized crime with locals/foreigners, environmental erosion in rural areas. highly contributes, this is high. It contributes to North Central 23.7% of former royalties, but illegal tin mining drives undeclared losses. Gold and lithium, where is this one? Niger, Northwest. Gold and lithium, okay, insecurity, bandit control of sites, smuggling, key to 8.9% Northwest royalty, fuels regional 80% illegality. Remember that. Well, are you talking about the campaign truck and all that? The state governors must be complicit to some extent. 100%. I agree. Because there is no way this thing is happening in state and you're telling me that they are not getting their cuts. The number 50 bill worth of gold TBM bought from Zafarada PMB by Emefiele. I hope the gold is intact in the reserve. I'm going to check that one. Maybe. So you have all of these resources happening, and it's happening around that area where you have major insecurities. And that's the problem. Let me round up this one, and I'm going to take a break and possibly come back later today.
Say one thing tomorrow and change tomorrow. You can never find that with me. Whatever I said last year, 10 years ago, even on your show or wherever you have interviewed me, I've stood by them. Because I believe that no man should be so
I don't know
what's
the name of this guy. I don't even know who he is.
In times of crisis.
But I think
today,
he's been vocal
there are
for
these
a while. Okay,
challenges
Peter,
that we have today.
Okay.
It's critical, and we will need support, international support, in whichever manner, to be able to make sure that we stop we eradicate these people who are bent on making Nigeria go on their knees to beg them to have a place to sleep at night. People can no longer sleep with their eyes closed. That's not the kind of country I envisioned when I was growing up.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite bad. So that was Peter Ame. It's really a big problem. It's really, really a big problem. And hopefully we see what happens. I mean, this new Minister of Defense has been there for a while. We'll see what happens from there. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. I just saw the news about the coup in Benin Republic. I said I should I just come in and just look at what's happening, and we'll see hopefully the peace in Benin Republic will be sustained and the politicians will do the right thing, so that this trail of coup, can be minimized or reduced. But that's what it is. Africa should only be allowed to dig in African soil. Yeah, there's a lot of foreign impact happening. There's a lot. Yeah, thanks, Chigozie. I really appreciate. So I'll come back maybe later today and then cover some more news. There's been a lot of stories that I do have for you guys. We'll see that. We're also looking at what's happening towards 2027. I don't like the state the opposition parties are in Nigeria. Even if you don't win elections, you should be able to build a formidable opposition. We'll see that. There's a problem already brewing in Rivers State. We're going to cover that later today. Fubara is saying that we're not out of danger yet. When I come back, we're going to look at that. And some other stories. Also, I'm going to follow up with what's happening with Harrison Gwamnishu with respect to his arrest and all that. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Please, if you've not subscribed, please help to subscribe to this channel. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the contribution. I do appreciate, and have a good restful Sunday.